to the Thought Leader Show. I'm your host, Major Sunil Shetty. E-waste is a burning issue affecting the entire planet. The level of waste from electrical items generated is growing fast. The growth is attributed to higher consumption rate of electronics, short products, life cycles, and limited repair options. Joining me today on the show is Mr. Shivarao, founder of 3R Zero Waste. Welcome to the show, Mr. Shivarao.
Thank you, Mr. Major, and all my viewers.
So, Mr. Shivarao, let's start by understanding how grave is the situation when it comes to e-waste that is generated.
Yeah, so since you have asked a direct question, I'll answer it directly. So, in terms of the numbers, India is generating 3.2 million tons of e-waste generally, and e-waste is the fastest moving waste. It is growing at a rate of 10 to 20% per annum. So, and out of which only 16% is being recycled. So, we are actually adding too much of electronic waste, which is very hazardous, which we'll come to in the next section.
So, why are we recycling just 15-20% of the e-waste? What is limiting it?
Yeah, so as per my research, so when I started last year, there are almost 410 authorized recyclers as per Central Pollution Control Board, but out of which only 15% are ethical recyclers. Means they are the one who are doing recycling. The remaining people are just doing paperwork. So that is the problem. What is happening?
Uh, when you say ethical recyclers and people probably running illegal units for recycling, how do you differentiate them? I mean, what are the government rules around people who can recycle or who cannot?
So as per government regulation, all these 410 have been authorized. So at the point of giving authorization, government has checked it, or whatever is the means they have got into, and they have got them registered. So they are assumed to be people who should be able to do recycling or at least dismantling. There are three set of licenses. So but unfortunately, showing the equipment and but not really using the equipment is a challenge. So most of the equipments which have been used in the past, because we have just started 4 or 5 years back the core recycling, so most of the units are manual, and for manual intervention you don't have to really show major equipment. It is just dismantling tables, some conveyor belts, and but the core equipment, which is the bag filter, which is filtering the dust particles, which is the one of the most critical equipment which PCB checks, that also I would say of this 85%, I would say again 80% of that 85% would not be existing or not be working. So the critical equipment is not working.
Why is this attitude of private players or people who have been certified to recycle e-waste that they are not investing into automation? Is it because of the business model is not viable?
Yeah, so definitely that is one of the core thing which is stopping, and unfortunately we don't have single unit in India which can recycle precious metal, because it is not financially viable, particularly on the PCB part. But coming to the other parts, because this out of this 410, what I would assume is when this industry started, the people who were in the area of kabadi walas, the scrap dealers, they just turned into e-waste authorized licensors, just because the government has put up the regulation that only government companies or other big companies can sell this to authorized recyclers. Suddenly this chaos started, and then these scrap dealers were the one who were working on that industry. So most of them, they got into this licensing of their, with the licensing with the pollution control board. So that is how the industry started, and you can understand uh, a well a second layer of kabadi wala would be still having that same mentality. He's not a professional recycler as such.
You said India does not have even one recycling unit that can extract precious metal. So, what is stopping from companies to put it up, and what kind of investment goes into it? And an added question to that is, if in India we have to set up something like this, what would be a good place to do it, as in a city or a state?
The first question is, okay, what is the investment? Yeah. So in terms of my limited knowledge, because I'm also in this industry, only I'm a startup. So my limited knowledge says that most of these PCBs, which are having the precious metal content, is being exported to either Belgium, Singapore, and Japan legally. But illegally, a lot of material is also coming to India, and as well as going out of India. So that is very difficult to say what is happening, and maybe a little bit of informal people in the villages from Meerut to Moradabad area. Some villages are using this to burn this PCBs and get some part of gold and other materials. So coming to the investment part, I would say it would be a minimum size of 10 CR would be required. But the challenge is to get that PCBs, because the informal market is so dynamic, and they are selling it. If they are exporting it at a premium price, they would not give it to the recycler if at all somebody puts up this plant. And the second question you asked is,
Or what is a good place to set it up in case,
yeah. So
in geography terms?
yes, absolutely. So what I just researched myself, there were almost 3.2 million tons and these 410 recyclers. But if I see 30 to 35% of those recyclers are in the area of Haryana, Delhi, UP, Rajasthan. So this belt, that is the reason also why I moved my plant from Andhra Pradesh, Visakhapatnam to Gurgaon, is that, the region is a hub of e-waste material pan India.
So what happens to all the e-waste that's generated in South India and West and other parts of the country?
Yeah, so I said 35% is here. There are zones like Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai, uh, and then Gujarat. So these are again the next level of where the materials are. There are proper recyclers, few of them, and but what I and again my research came out is the leftover e-waste. The totally the small wires, the small plugs, the small chargers, pan India, it all comes to Delhi at a rate of 10 rupees per kilo. And that is how this has become an hub.
So what kind of incentives should government, especially the state government, should come up with, which will encourage more recyclers and not necessarily the kabadiwalas to be part of this a movement. Also, if somebody was to come up with, let's say India is the first recycling plant that can extract precious metal, what kind of incentive would be required for these three things to happen?
Yeah, definitely for any industry to come up, one thing is the government should support with land and some sort of subsidy in terms of loans, which which some governments are claiming, and I have also seen some documents. And specifically in Haryana, there is a program which is being done. But again, most of these government schemes are taken care by the uh, big industrialists. They know this is happening, they know the government connects. But startups like us, we are only learning the steps, and that this is something at a very high level taken care of. But fortunately, there's a lot of things happening with Startup India, and I hope that many few startups will come up and take this challenge.
So to address the problem of kabadi walas being part of or leading this e-waste collection, and in some cases even recycling it manually, do you think startups can be the right startups should be the right way going forward, or they should be the ones who would be replacing the kabadi walas?
So I would say replacing Kabadi Walas would be a very challenging way to move ahead. So I would say it should be a mixture where the startups have to work with the Kabadi Walas and bring them into a level of working with GST, or working with some legal compliances of the government, and work in a model where it's a win-win situation for both the kabadiwala as well as uh, us. Because, and again, but it is an industry where where we have come up with a startup with a mentality of a corporate style. It is very difficult for us, for my team, for my family, to see that we interact with these kabaddi walas. It is a real challenge, and every startup like mine would be facing this.
So the challenge is, is there a challenge in collecting itself? When it comes to collecting e-waste, especially from individual users. Corporates, we understand. They would go to, they would offload their e-waste, in bulk. But what happens to single users? Is there an issue there as well? How do you fix it?
Absolutely, this is the biggest issue. And most of the companies, till as I mentioned, 410 recyclers, most of them have failed in this particular from the consumers. I have taken up this challenge to myself and the company, that this is the area where I will focus. And for the last 1 year, we have given the awareness for close to 130,000 people, individuals and corporates. We have done events, seminars, online webinars. So this is how we have given this information, that how hazardous is e-waste. And just to tell you, the fact is, today we are the only startup or the only private recycler selected by Sahas. It's an NGO which is working with Ericsson India to take care of this, again, consumer electronics idea to the RWS. We are running this campaign for whole 1 year, supported by Ericsson India, and Sahas is the NGO. We are the partner for recycling.
Just bear with. So, Mr. Shivarao, My Sir TV is a channel for startups like yours. What are your thoughts about the channel and the work we are doing?
Yes, so Major Sunil, right?
Yeah.
I have been touch with you from the time when the idea was just blooming in my mind, which was in the month of June, July 2020. I recall the first conversation, and you shared your story about you working in the Gulf. I shared my story of working in almost 12 countries and coming back to India to do something for my country. And same is with you. You have done the same thing, and you might have faced the same challenges with your family and with your working style. Coming to India, people might have told galat decision kar liya bhai tumhara. So I really appreciate that you have taken the decision. You have been, and again we see for you again that, okay, if Mr. Major can do it, we can also do it. So, and the work startups is I was also involved in Vizag startups from 2015 to 2016. And I was in the team. We were trying to bloom up the startup movement in Visakhapatnam. I face the same challenges there. Startups are working in different areas and not able to give a good solution in the market. So yeah, as a startup, I would really appreciate that the way you have built up this company. And by Startup TV, I keep on getting the news in the various startup forums. And I wish that more success to you and your team. And yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Shivarao. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to hosting you in our future shows. Thank you.
Thank you, Major, and thank you to the all the listeners.